US President Barack Obama outlined the dangers of war and underscored the importance of nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament, as he made an historic visit to Hiroshima, site of the first atomic bombing in 1945. This was followed by a similar nuclear attack on Nagasaki, which led to Japan's surrender in the Second World War. The bombing of Hiroshima caused the loss of around tens of thousands of lives. President Obama honored those who died in the war, but did not apologize for the devastation caused to Japan by his predecessor, President Truman. Japan had attacked Pearl Harbor in Hawaii in 1941, which drew the United States into the Second World War. President Obama stressed the importance of peace and the reduction of conflict to promote a more stable and secure environment around the world without the threat of a nuclear war. Mr. Obama said his visit to the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park, together with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, is a reaffirmation of a shared vision of a world without nuclear weapons. He said their joint visit highlighted the alliance forged between Japan and the US from the ashes of war. Reflecting on this issue is our US Bureau Chief Jeremy Au-Yong in Washington, D.C. Now, Jeremy, President Obama's visit to Hiroshima is symbolic, and it is also a courageous act, marking a major step in the healing of the wounds of the past between the US and Japan. What is the impact of this gesture of goodwill by the US President?
I think we have to look at the visit in the context of two legacy items for the Obama administration. The first one is the rebalance to Asia. And in this sense, there is a large symbolic value of Obama's visit to Hiroshima. But it doesn't change the US-Japan relationship that much in practical ways, but it does bury what is the last major hatchet in their bilateral ties. So what the visit says is that it reinforces the strength of the relationship between US and Japan and positions it as a forward-looking one with mutual trust. The second item is Obama's commitment to nuclear non-proliferation. This has been a priority throughout his 2 terms in office, and although his scorecard here is not that great, I think what he's trying to say with the visit to Hiroshima is that, hey, look, this is what the kind of devastation the use of nuclear weapons can have, and we should make sure that it never happens again. And the US is uniquely positioned to make this argument because it is the only country to ever use a nuclear weapon in war.
President Obama has highlighted the perils of nuclear warfare and pointed out the importance of securing peace and stability in the region. What effect do you think his message will have on countries in East Asia, with tensions on the Korean Peninsula and across the Taiwan Strait and in the South China Sea?
I don't think it's going to have that big of an impact. I think on the nuclear front, most analysts do agree that we are not closer to a nuclear-free world today than when Obama first started as president. I think with North Korea showing no signs of curbing its nuclear ambitions, nobody else has any incentive to do the same. If we are looking at the visit in terms of US and Japan setting an example for the likes of South Korea and China and how it should treat its own relationship with Japan, I don't think that's going to happen either. I think Seoul and Beijing are looking at the visit not so much in terms of, oh, this is something we can follow, but they're actually wary that what Obama is doing might make Japan look like the victim in the war. I think what would be more valuable is for the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe to make a reciprocal visit to Pearl Harbor later this year.
Defense cooperation is set to strengthen as the US seeks to build on its relationship with Japan to promote regional security, particularly in the East China Sea. Would a stronger alliance between the US and Japan pose a threat to China and North Korea?
A strong military and defense cooperation with their allies in Asia actually makes the region more stable. If their allies cannot trust and cannot rely on the US for defense, and they are compelled to build up their own militaries, that's not necessarily a good thing for the region.
Thank you, Jeremy, for sharing your insights. For more news and views, visit thestraitstimes.com.